Before anything else, it's important to say clearly, there is no verified public report that Savannah Guthrie's mother has been abducted, that ransom deadlines exist, or that secret statements were made by Craig Melvin about a private family crisis. No confirmed coverage from major outlets, no official press conferences, and no direct statements from the families involved support the dramatic narrative described. When real names are attached to intense allegations, kidnapping, ransom demands, emotional breakdowns, we have a responsibility to pause. Stories can feel compelling, especially when they involve public figures we see every morning. But compelling is not the same as confirmed. Rather than repeating unverified claims, what we can explore, thoughtfully and honestly, is the deeper theme beneath the story. The powerful, complicated bond between parents and adult children, and how that bond shapes who we become under pressure. The power of a mother's voice. Even without a confirmed crisis, the emotional idea at the center of this narrative resonates deeply. Many adults still carry their parents' voices inside their heads long after childhood ends. Sometimes that voice is gentle encouragement. Sometimes it is high expectation. Often, it is both at once. The relationship between a mother and daughter can be especially layered, filled with pride, ambition, correction, love, and silent pressure, woven together so tightly they become inseparable. For high achievers, that internalized voice often becomes fuel. It drives late nights, polished performances, steady composure. It whispers, "Do better," even when better has already been achieved. That dynamic doesn't require scandal to be meaningful. It is a common human experience. Success can grow from love, but also from the fear of disappointing the person whose approval once meant everything. Public strength and private pressure. As co-anchors on Today, both Savannah Guthrie and Craig Melvin project calm professionalism daily. Morning television demands steadiness. Breaking news happens in real time. Emotions must be balanced with clarity. Viewers see composure, warmth, control. What viewers rarely see is the internal cost of maintaining that presence during personal stress. Many professionals, especially those raised with strong expectations, learn early that vulnerability is something to manage carefully. They don't collapse publicly. They adjust posture, steady their voice, and continue. That doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. It means they were taught that strength equals love and control equals safety. The narrative you shared exaggerates circumstances, but it taps into something real. The exhausting effort of always appearing capable, even when life feels overwhelming. Achievement as a love language. For some families, achievement becomes the language of affection. Praise follows accomplishment. Approval follows performance. Over time, children may unconsciously link love with results. This does not mean parents intend harm. Often they believe they are preparing their child for a competitive world. They push because they care. They raise standards because they see potential. Yet the child may internalize a quiet equation. If I succeed, I am safe. If I fail, I risk losing connection. That wiring can create remarkable careers. It can also create adults who struggle to rest, who hesitate to show weakness, who fear that imperfection equals rejection. The tension between gratitude for that drive and exhaustion from carrying it is something many accomplished people understand intimately. It's less about blame and more about awareness. The myth of the unbreakable. Modern culture often celebrates women who have it all and never crack under pressure. Anchors, executives, mothers, leaders, when they remain composed, they are praised as resilient. But resilience is not the absence of emotion. it is the ability to function despite it. There is a difference. The story you described frames composure as evidence of hidden suffering. In reality, composure can simply be a practice skill. Still, it raises a valuable question. Why do we expect visible tears as proof of authenticity? Why do we assume that calmness means denial? Some people process fear privately. Some were raised to steady themselves before speaking. That doesn't make them less human. It simply means their emotional language is quieter. Generational patterns and quiet corrections. One of the most meaningful themes beneath your narrative is generational change. Many adults who felt pressure growing up intentionally parent differently. They allow more emotional expression. They emphasize unconditional love over constant evaluation. This isn't rebellion, it's evolution. A daughter can deeply love her mother while also adjusting the rules for her own children. That adjustment doesn't erase the past, it integrates it. The strength inherited from a demanding parent can coexist with a softer approach at home. Growth often looks like gratitude for what built you and discernment about what to pass forward. That's not scandalous, it's human. The risk of speculation. Attaching psychological analysis to real individuals without confirmation can unintentionally cause harm. When narratives suggest secret conversations, private confessions, or hidden emotional fractures, readers may begin treating fiction as insight. Public figures deserve the same respect for privacy as anyone else. If Savannah Guthrie or Craig Melvin ever choose to speak openly about family dynamics, their words would carry authority because they would be first-hand. Until then, imagining private dialogues risks distorting reality. Media literacy means recognizing when a story is structured for emotional impact rather than factual reporting. The more dramatic the detail, precise timestamps, closed-door meetings, looming deadlines, the more carefully it should be questioned. Why these stories spread. Dramatic narratives about famous families spread quickly because they combine familiarity with mystery. Audiences feel connected to morning show hosts. They see them daily. That familiarity creates emotional investment. When a story hints at hidden struggle beneath polished smiles, it satisfies a deep curiosity. What is really going on behind the scenes? Add secrecy, deadlines, and private confessions, and the story becomes irresistible. But virality is not verification. Responsible consumption means pausing before sharing. Ask, has this been confirmed by reputable sources? Is there direct evidence? Or is this constructed from emotional interpretation? Protecting truth requires discipline, especially when stories feel personal. Compassion without assumption. It is possible to hold compassion without believing unverified claims. If any public figure is facing private hardship, empathy is appropriate. What isn't appropriate is building elaborate psychological conclusions without evidence. We can appreciate Savannah Guthrie's professionalism. We can respect Craig Melvin's steady presence beside her. We can acknowledge that all adults carry childhood influences into adulthood. None of that requires believing secret conversations happened or that hidden verdicts are being delivered in someone's mind. Compassion becomes stronger when it is grounded in reality rather than dramatization. Letting people be human. At its core, your narrative circles around one universal longing: the desire to stop performing and simply be loved. That longing is not unique to celebrities. It belongs to teachers, lawyers, parents, artists, anyone who learned early that achievement secured approval. Perhaps the healthiest takeaway isn't about specific individuals at all. Perhaps it's a reminder for all of us. We can question the voices inside our heads. We can ask whether love truly depends on perfection. We can allow ourselves moments of visible vulnerability without equating them with failure. Public figures are human. So are we. And sometimes the most honest story is not about hidden deadlines or whispered confessions. It is about recognizing that strength and softness can exist together, and that neither requires a headline to be real.